Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Pepper and Salt Podcast. I am Gideon Bradley.
I'm Barrett Goblay.
And yeah, we're back with another episode. It's been a while.
We're back.
We got some explaining to do.
A lot.
Thanksgiving, we filmed an amazing podcast that was doomed from the beginning.
Got fully sideways.
The audio was terrible. The camera was messed up. And it just was unpostable. And then we tried to redeem ourselves a couple of days ago and had the same exact issues with our mics. As you can see,
So look what we have now.
I have a great, beautiful new mic.
Yes. We
And,
did it.
We're here to deliver an amazing podcast. It's been a while, a little rusty, but I'm not rusty.
We're back in it.
I'm always here.
We're back in the
Um,
game. We're back in the game.
We're back. So, yeah, I say we get right into it, right into the NFL.
Let's get into it, man. We're going to talk about some NFL first. And it's been a while, so a lot of things have happened. But first off, we got to talk about the Ravens, man. At one point, people were saying they were the best team in the AFC. But now we got to ask, like, are the Ravens done? After Marlon Humphrey goes down, they got, like, nobody playing corner. I don't know who they got back there, but it ain't good because John Harbaugh's going for 2-point conversions
He doesn't trust his team.
at the end of the Steelers game to try to win because he can't trust the back end of his defense. So are they done? Is it over?
I wouldn't say they're done. They have a decent enough record. And also you gotta remember in a competitive division, it's not completely won for them. I don't think they're done. I think they're, but sometimes I wouldn't say their offense can carry them, but sometimes their offense looks a little stale. Sometimes you kind of take away what they can do because they're a running team. They're hurt at running back. Lamar Jackson really can't do it all because he didn't have the necessary weapons. Once you get rid of his tight end, what can you really do? So
That's how I feel too, man. Their offense is basically it's Lamar and Andrews. Like
yeah.
that's it. Like there's nobody else in there. They got two running backs that, don't get me wrong, they're doing a decent job back there. But are they two starting running backs? No. And Lamar, I mean, Lamar is Lamar, right? He's an athlete, but if you take away the thing he does the best, which is running, which is if you take away his ability to run the ball, he becomes less than spectacular, right? So like you saw it against the Steelers. I mean, they cage rushed him. They did everything to take away that piece of his game, and they don't have the receivers to beat anybody on the outside, and they don't have the running backs to actually run their offense. So it all runs through Lamar, and it's like a one-trick pony, man. Like, if you only have to figure out how to stop one thing, then it makes it so much easier to play defense against you. And I feel like that's what's happening. Everybody knows, hey, man, you stop Lamar from running, we got a really good chance to win this game.
Yeah.
And you saw it. You saw it against the Steelers. I think there's just too many injuries. I don't know that they can hold it up, and we're going to find out. Because, I mean, they got to play the Browns, which is going to be a huge game, and we'll talk about that later. But that's going to be a huge game in that division because everybody's still really close. But I don't know, man. I think you can only survive so many injuries.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they're going to find replacements for the back end of that defense. They've literally lost, what, 2 starting corners, a starting safety.
Yeah, they're almost as hurt as the Titans.
Yeah, they're absolutely decimated. They're probably, if not as hurt, as close as you can be. So I don't know, man. It's looking rough for the Ravens right now. But let's move on to my boys. So we're coming off the bye. Do you think the Titans can get it back on track after the bye? We play the Jags.
Yeah, well, Jacksonville's a great start.
If that's a get right game, I don't know what is right there.
Julio's practicing. Y'all getting him back. I mean, this is obviously a win game for the Titans. If y'all don't win this game, well then, becomes a little interesting of how good the Titans really are.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like this. I don't like saying that games are must-win games, but dude, you got to beat who you're supposed to beat.
Absolutely.
Like straight out, because you got too many tough games on your schedule that are 50-50 games. This shouldn't be a 50-50 game. Just like that Texans game. Should have won that game. You didn't. But you got to come out and win this game because if you want to have any hope to get the number 1 seed, gotta win the games you're supposed to win to keep yourself in that position. But yeah, I'm loving the fact that we got so many people coming back off IR. Julio mainly. I mean, I feel like if Julio can play and can be healthy for the remainder of this stretch and get him into the playoffs, dude, it's a different team. Like, I mean, let's be honest. If you just have one dynamic playmaker out there, it totally changes what the defense has to do. And whatever's happened up to this point, yes, Julio's been injured. And yes, I said at the beginning of the season, if you could get him for half the season and for the playoffs, he's worth it for me. Because I feel like he puts you over the edge. Because once you get AJ back, and if by the grace of the Lord somehow you get Henry back, because all the reports are looking good. If you can survive and make it to the playoffs and you get those three people on the field at the same time, dude, look out. And somehow the Titans get Zach Cunningham to fall to them at 28th in the waiver wire, and they're getting him for $250K this year, which is basically nothing. Dude was the leading tackler in the NFL last year. Absolute monster at middle linebacker. Dude.
That's crazy. I can't believe 28th. That's crazy.
28th. Still. He went through 27 teams that didn't pick him up. What are the odds of that? I don't know, man.
So are you confident that Tennessee Titans can get it done against Jacksonville?
Yes, absolutely. Just with what we have, I feel like yes. Because the running game against the Patriots looked fully legit. Put 270 rushing yards on them. Did we fumble way too many times? Yes. Yeah. Turn the ball over way too much? Absolutely. It was sloppy. But if anybody can get that straightened out, it's Vrabel. And I feel like coming off this bye week, getting to practice at full speed again, more than likely. Because I feel like they just were kind of limping in, trying to get to the bye to get some people healthy. But absolutely. I feel like it's guaranteed. Gotta win this game. And I feel like they will. I think they're gonna go out there and make a statement. And I think I want to say the last 3 times they've come off a bye, they've won. Vrabel's 3-0 after the bye. So I think the Jags are in trouble.
I think so too. I think it's gonna help Tannehill a lot having an actual wide receiver out there that's not off the practice squad. Because he hasn't been performing these past couple of weeks. You know, obviously the talent isn't there, but when you're paying a quarterback, you know, to be a franchise guy, do you expect him to do a little bit more than what he's been doing or producing?
I don't know that you expect him to do more, but you expect him to be more protective of the ball, yeah. Right? Like, especially even if you're not making the play, don't turn the ball over. Yeah. Make better decisions. If you got to take a sack to keep the ball and to punt it and survive for the next drive, then you do what you got to do, right? Throw the ball away. If the throw's not there, don't try to force it. Just throw it away. Punt the ball, let your defense play. Because even decimated, your defense has been playing really well. Yeah. Even with all the pieces that have been not in there, they've been playing really well. So I think you got to trust that defense at this stage, run the ball, and know that, hey, I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt the team. Do what you can to help, but don't try to force it, because I feel like that's what's been happening, especially in that Texans game. He forced a lot of stuff that I know that he's trying to make a play, and I know that he feels like it's all on his shoulders because he's one of the only starters left out there. Everybody else is hurt. So, I mean, I feel like at this point, just if there's a way to just like, hey, dude, just protect the ball. That's it. Like, above everything else, above making a play, above anything, protect the ball. Even if that's a punt, even if that's taking a sack, whatever it takes to not turn the ball over, because I feel like if we don't turn the ball over, we can win games, even without the playmakers out there. Because I feel like Dante Foreman's done a good job running the ball. I feel like Hilliard's done a good job running the ball. If they can just limit their turnovers, I think the Titans got a chance, man. I think they can use that rotation. I think they can run the ball. And I feel like if they can run the ball, Tannehill's going to look a whole lot better. Because the dude's absolute beast off the play action. But they haven't had that. They haven't had anything that lets them be able to run that play action. So you don't put it all on Tannehill, but at the same time, he's your leader. And he's gotta take ownership of that and make it better. So, but I mean, I think it's half him, half the fact that you're playing with fifth and sixth and seventh string wide receivers. Um, but yeah, definitely, you got to protect the ball to give your defense a chance. But speaking of the Pats, we got an important question here. Are the Pats the best team in the AFC?
Yeah, I mean, I think they are because I think they're their defense is really good. They're coached probably the best in the league. Mac Jones is really promising. And they're running the ball really well. Obviously, if you watch the Bills game, that's all they did. But yeah,
That was insane.
the Patriots look really good really early because this is a team that everyone was saying this is going to be a really good team in a couple years, a year or two, and they're coming out and they're showing out. I mean, they pay the $100 billion they spend in free agency is working because they picked up two really good tight ends. They picked up Matthew Judon, who's been huge for them. Um, J.C. Jackson is one of the best corners in the league
Oh
right
my
now.
god, that
So
dude's a monster.
the Patriots are playing amazingly. Are they sitting first in the AFC?
Yes.
Uh, this is a team, the Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to Kansas City. That's a good matchup. That's a matchup I want to see. Um, but yeah, I think for right now, the Patriots are the best team in the NFL
I feel the
or
same.
AFC. AFC.
I feel the same way. I think that they're doing everything right with Mac Jones, right? Like
Sure.
they're making this dude, they're letting this dude do exactly what he's capable of doing. And he's doing an awesome job of protecting the ball, not making mistakes, taking the throws that he's given. And it's making him look like a full blown all star out there. I mean, like, dude's looking like MVP caliber. His completion percentage is like astronomical. Um, but so what I need to know is how in the world does this dude complete two passes and they beat the Bills?
I mean, I don't even know who the running back is, but he's good. um, but I have no idea. I mean, the game plan. I mean, I want to say game plan, but at one point that Bills defense has to know it's a run. You're getting pushed off, and the offensive line is pushing you 5 yards back. They're getting like 5, 6 a pop. I mean, the defense for the Bills had to step up there, and they couldn't. And the offense couldn't deliver in terrible conditions. That's a game where defense has to win you the game, and the Bills defense wasn't able to win the game.
Dude, it felt like there was somebody made a bet with Belichick. Like, hey, dude, I bet you $50 you can't go out in this game and run the ball 98% of the time and win. Because it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
He did.
Like, they might as well have taken a sign out there and said, dude, we're about to run all over you, and you're not going to be able to do nothing to stop it. Because it was insane. It was literally like the same, like, 5 running plays over and over and over. But it's just, the Patriots went out there and just executed better. Like, even though the Bills knew what was coming, they couldn't stop it.
Two passes is still crazy to me. That is wild.
Dude, it
I
was
mean,
insane. And the wind out there was crazy.
oh yeah.
Um, but I mean, it kind of leads me into the next topic. So, from my perspective, I'm gonna get your perspective on the Bills, but from my perspective, the Bills are absolutely, without question, the softest team that I feel like people have been high on.
Mm.
Their defense is so soft. Anytime they faced a good running team, they get dominated. Their defense in the middle is so soft. Titans ran all over them. The Bills, I mean, the Patriots absolutely embarrassed them. Like, there's no way a team should come out and be able to complete 2 passes and beat you.
Mm.
It should not happen in the NFL. It shouldn't even be possible.
I would say the Bills are up there. I would say also the Rams are kind of soft. It's not them being soft; it's them being really whiny. The Rams are a really whiny team.
I feel like they're soft too.
Yeah, and they can get soft, definitely down in the game, and also the Saints. I feel like the Saints are also really soft as well.
Yeah, but the Saints got other problems.
Yeah, the Saints got a lot of problems, but I feel like once the Saints are down, they're not winning the game
Yeah,
this year.
that's true, but I'm not gonna put the Saints on. I'm not gonna put the issues that the Saints have on their defense. The issues the Saints have are no Alvin Kamara, no starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. That's not on their defense. The Bills got a full starting roster.
Yeah.
You got Josh
have
Allen.
No excuse. Bills absolutely have no
None.
excuse.
You are
how they're
freaking toad. You are SOFT, baby. You are soft. Because if you come out and get ran all over like that, and on the top of that, you can't run the ball at all. After the Titans ran for 270 yards on the Patriots and you can't run the ball on them, you're soft, dude. You're terrible. That's awful. Like, come on, dude. The Titans literally gave you a blueprint on how to beat them. Couldn't do it. That's what I'm trying to say, dude. That offensive line is soft. That defense is soft. They are not good. Well, they're not great. I'll say that. I think they're super overrated right now. And until they change their mentality and say, hey, man, we're going to run the ball, they ain't going nowhere. I feel like they're a one and done in the playoffs. Because who are they going to beat? Everybody else that's in a position, that's in a high position in that playoff ranking can run the ball. I don't have zero confidence that the Bills can run the ball.
Yeah.
And if you let Jacksonville dominate you, bro, you better.
I forget they lost to Jacksonville.
You got to back up and punt, reevaluate. I don't know what your game plan is, but it is not looking great. And like I said, I'm not feeling good, man. I'm not feeling good about the Bills at all. I don't know where the regression's happening, but whatever's happening, they need to take a look in the mirror and figure that out really quick, because right now, with the way they're playing, it's not looking good, dude. So let's get to a couple other pieces. So we're recording this after Thursday Night Football. Now, we did preemptively make our picks. I did not pick right on that. This guy picked it.
The Vikings homer picked it.
But I'm still feeling, man. So I still feel the Vikings are trash.
They just got to win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A good defense, a well-coached team.
Yeah, they put what, 28 points on them in the first half?
Yeah.
Cool, man. And then they won. What was the final score?
I think they scored. It was like they were in 30, 36.
It was 36 to 28.
Wow.
So you let them come. You let Roethlisberger, who literally has ice bags on every joint in his whole entire body, come back on you? Dude, the Vikings are trash. They're not good.
Yeah.
They may be the luckiest team or unluckiest team in the NFL. I'm not 100% sure. But they lost to the Lions. And then they're absolutely destroyed. Like, everything's going right, and they still find a way to almost lose that game.
Yeah.
They should thank their MVP, Chase Claypool, who decided to dance with 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter after making a huge reception.
What is he doing?
And then he blames it on somebody slapping the ball out of his hand. Get out of here, dude. The Steelers, I don't know what checklist they use to pick receivers, but it's not awesome.
It's not ideal.
Because literally they pick the most selfish human beings I've ever seen to be receivers. And it's insane. And I don't think there's any way. The Steelers are trash. Like, let's just throw that out there. Like, as long as Roethlisberger's quarterback, they are not winning this year. That dude should have retired last year. He is well over the hill, and that ship has sailed. And I don't feel like they're putting any pressure on defenses. Luckily, they were playing Minnesota and almost came back, because Minnesota's defense is just absolutely atrocious, specifically in the second half. I don't know what it is, but it's like they get a big lead and they're like, all right, boys, let's let them back in. Let's give them touchdowns, because it's insane. But I do feel that the Vikings are absolutely trash. However, I will not pick the Steelers to win another game, because they are garbage.
I feel like the Vikings aren't trash. I feel like they're underrated. I feel like this is a team that
what have they done to be underrated?
This team beat
Oh,
the Packers.
Oh God.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, my Seattle Seahawks,
which are also trash.
No, we're on the rise, baby.
Come on, bud. Let's get into truth time.
They beat a lot of other good times. They beat a lot of other good teams.
Yeah, they also lost a lot of trash teams.
Recall.
Yeah,
but they beat the Packers, which is, in my opinion, the best team in the NFC. So, therefore, I think the Vikings, if they get in the playoffs, this is a team that I can see making potentially a deep run like the Titans did.
Yeah, if they can get in at 7-10, or I don't even know. Like, is that They think they can get in there like 8-9.
I don't know what they are right now, but it's possible because you've been saying, this NFC towards the bottom is not very good.
This NFC towards the bottom is an absolute dumpster
So
fire.
they can get in. I see how Seahawks can still get in.
Oh,
So
but come on now.
so it can still happen. A lot of things need to go right.
But all right, you ready? You ready for me to end this entire argument?
Sure.
The Vikings lost to the Lions.
Yeah, that's about it.
To the Detroit Lions. Come on.
That game had to be rigged.
It wasn't rigged. The Vikings are just garbage. They're trash. I will continue on this path the entire season. The Vikings are trash, and they will not make the playoffs. You heard it here, right here
Philly
first.
gets in, but Vikings don't.
Vikings are trash. They can't win a meaningful game.
But the Vikings are not bad.
They're trash.
They remind. I think of a team they remind me of.
Do they remind you of a team that lives in a dumpster?
No, because talent-wise, they're not a trash team.
Well, talent doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You got to actually want to win the game in the second half. And I'm not sure that they do. They're a trash can. They're a trash can. They're not good.
We'll see what plays through these couple weeks.
Right. You can take the Vikings, and I will take anyone else because they are terrible.
How did that work out for you with that Steelers game?
You're right. I took the other worst team in the NFL, which is the Steelers. God, come on.
Wow.
Vikings are still trash. So, all right, let's move on past that. We'll revisit that in every episode for the rest of the season. And I'm sure that they will not make the playoffs. So we got to move on to a pretty interesting topic here. The Dolphins. These dudes can't lose lately. They're absolutely on a tear. Tua is looking fantastic, actually. Ever since he came in for Brissett in that Baltimore game, dude has been on fire. Is Tua the guy now?
I would say he's the guy for now. He's playing with look, this is the guy that last year that was, I've said this before, a guy that was getting switched out with Fitz last year, which is terrible for a rookie's confidence, especially. Then he comes out this season, the whole off season. Is he getting replaced by Deshaun Watson? During the season, is he going to get replaced by Deshaun Watson? And he finally goes out there. He finds some confidence in himself, and he's tearing it up. And I'm glad to see it because this is a guy that if he would have got replaced after last season, he didn't get a fair shot. And even if he did this season, he's not getting a fair shot. You got to give your rookie, time to grow. Peyton Manning threw 20-something interceptions his first season.
I think it was 28 interceptions. Yeah.
What if they replaced him after his first season? So you got to give your rookie quarterback a little bit of time to develop. And now, he's going out there playing. The Dolphins are playing. They might be a team that can sneak in there. You don't know. You never know.
Yeah, the Dolphins are going to need a lot of things to happen.
A lot of things. The Bills are going to have to keep on being the Bills.
A lot of things to happen right. They got to win a lot of games against a lot of good teams.
But even if they don't make the playoffs, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I would say I'm getting a little excited. Because last year, y'all kind of got screwed because y'all were like, 10-5, 10 something, and then get into the playoffs, which is crazy. But and then you go out this season and you start out really slow, kind of hurt. But what is it? 6? What game streak are they on? 6?
6. I think they won 6 in a row.
6 in a row. Yeah,
yeah, because they're
the Dolphins
back to 7-7. Yeah, man, I feel like Tua. I feel like once the Deshaun talk was officially over for this season, and they actually turned the team over to him, and there wasn't all that garbage looming over his head, dude, he looks like he's playing free and loose, bro. Yeah. And I love it. Like, I'm like you. I'm like, dude, give this kid a chance, man. Like, you spent that draft pick on him, and last year he did not get a fair shake at all.
For sure.
He was hurt. I get it. Like, and the injury thing with him is probably going to be a thing, but you got to let the dude play. Like, you've got to. You knew when you drafted him. You knew what happened when you drafted him. He came in with a hip injury. So you already knew that that's probably going to be a thing, especially with him being as mobile as he is. You knew that's going to be a problem. But at the same point, like, even when he was healthy, like you said, they're shuffling him and Fitzpatrick back and forth.
Yeah, I always hated
Dude,
that. It made
stop
no
doing
sense to me.
that. Like, if the kid makes a mistake, let him make a mistake and learn and go back in there and
Exactly.
play.
If your rookie's going out there making mistakes, he needs that game. He needs that game to therefore learn for. If you're taking away the film for him to go back and look at by replacing him with a veteran quarterback that is not in your future, that's not going to be in your future plans, like it's
Obviously, he's
absolutely
not on a
pointless.
different team now.
Yeah. So I always hated that last year because that only makes a rookie, especially a rookie quarterback, confidence disappear.
I feel the
So
same way, man. I think Tua can be the guy. I really do. I think if they'll
yeah,
give him a fair shake, I think he can be the guy. I mean, I think it is going to be that Deshaun talk's always going to be there because they were the really like the main suitors. Now, after the fiasco that's happening in Carolina right now, that could change.
for sure.
Um, that could change in a quick and big hurry. Um, I feel like Carolina could jump into that with every gun they have to try to get him now because their quarterback situation is a mess.
Terrible.
And I do feel like they are fully legitly a quarterback away from being a good team because I feel like their defense is good. They've made all the right moves on defense. They just can't find a leader at the quarterback role on the Carolina side.
Yeah.
But I feel like Tua fits the team, and I feel like he's doing a good job. Obviously, they've won 6 games in a row. Um, so like I said, like you said, and like I feel the same way. I just hope they give him a fair shake,
Yeah.
and I would love to see them get in the playoffs because I feel like they're a dangerous team if they get in the playoffs. Because at this point, they know how to win. They've been battle tested, and if they get in the playoffs, nobody wants to see them, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see them because they'll be playing like they got nothing to lose. Because literally, they've come back from the absolute bottom of the barrel to sneak in there. Watch out, dude. If they can get in, watch out. Um, so we'll get on your team now, man. Seattle, bro. So devastating news on the injury front.
Yeah.
Um, where do they go from here, man?
I'll say this:
What's the next step? Where you at as a fan?
the Jamal Adams injury. It hurts. Especially what we give up to get him. But he's looked really. He looked really good this season. Despite what everyone just loves to hop on his case every single time. So makes a bad play, whatever. Statistically, he had an amazing season. Um, that hurts. But I mean, it always feels good to get a win. We're not out of the playoffs yet. I'm always gonna have hope. It's very unlikely. But as a Seahawks fan, I think that I saw Russell Wilson. He said this. He said this is like the Warriors last year, a really good team that got hit with injuries. Steph Curry got hurt last year, and then now the Warriors are back. Next year, I expect my Seattle Seahawks to be back with a few adjustments, maybe at coaching. I think we're gonna be back.
So you think the pieces are in place now
Oh,
for next year, or
there's obviously one position that we need to focus on, which is or multiple because we have five that we need to fill, which is offensive line. Our offensive line reminds me of the Benson Among Us. We just let everybody in. Russell Wilson is on his back. I'm being serious. Russell Wilson's back is on his back every single play. We should have went after offensive line last season. We had that free agency period. So many offensive linemen we could have got. The draft. So many offensive linemen we could have got. So hopefully this year we actually pursue offensive line and pursue a new head coach. Um, and I think this team is back to where we should be, which is owning the 49ers like we are this year, owning the Arizona Cardinals, and owning the Los Angeles Rams. That's how I feel.
you don't own all those teams this year. It's been pretty rough.
It
Um,
has been rough.
so let me ask you this: where do you stand on your running back position? That's question one, because I feel like that may be a need due to just the injury issues there.
Yeah.
Number two, if this is a rebuild, because a lot of people are saying it's a rebuild, do you cash in your biggest chip and trade Russell Wilson to get enough pieces to start the rebuild process?
I'll start with the running back one.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely we need a new running back. I'm sick and tired of Chris Carson going down with injury. I mean, he has so much potential. He reminds me of young Marshawn, but he is always hurt. He hasn't completed. He hasn't had a full season for us in 3-4 years. Um, yeah, we got to move on. I feel like he's good trade value because people are gonna see, what he's done on tape, what he's done. Hopefully, we can get some decent value for Chris Carson. And I love Chris Carson, but he just cannot stay healthy. If he was on the field, this is a guy. If he was on the field, this offense looks a lot better, especially during that Geno period, because he has someone that can reliably run the ball. Um, but yeah, we need it. We need to go a different direction in running back, and then go to the Russell Wilson one. I'm starting to get sick and tired of answer. Everyone always asks me this is Russell Wilson.
Well, we gotta know, man. Like it looks so bad in Seattle right now.
But
That's a
Russell
lot of the
Wilson,
focus. Is
Russell
if this is a
Wilson is
rebuild, what do you do?
Russell Wilson is loyal to the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, yeah, but how loyal are they to him?
We, we, we should be begging him to stay at this point. It should be the other way around. We should be begging him for how many times he's been sacked. This man has a family and he's on his back every game. I don't see a. I think we see how this team is next year to see if we move Russell Wilson, because if we can have a healthy team, new blood at head coach, I want to see how this team plays. If we're still putting up the same results as we are this year, and Russell Wilson and still has not is not 100%, because I don't think he's 100% right now. There's a lot of throws that he's making if he's healthy. So give him a full healthy season, new head coach, revamped offensive line. I think we're back. We're back to being one of the better teams in the NFC. If not, then we see what we can get for Russell Wilson. That's how I feel.
Okay. I mean, I feel the same way because I feel like the Seahawks' biggest problem is can't rebuild because you've traded away all your draft picks to win now, and the problem is none of that really panned out, right? Like you cashed in to win currently. Also, talk to the Rams. It's a strategy and it's a gamble because if either A, the player you pulled in gets hurt, now you're stuck, right? Because who's behind that guy? Not the dude you drafted with that second round pick or that first round pick. There's no depth there, and that's what's happened. I feel like that's what's happened with the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, we don't have depth.
You cashed all that in, and now the injuries hit you, and there's zero depth there to fill that void when these guys go down. And I do feel like Dallas played pretty good. Isn't that the other running back's name? DJ Dallas?
We have DJ Dallas getting in there, Travis Homer getting in there, AP obviously getting in there.
Yeah, I feel like Dallas has done a pretty decent job. But he's definitely no Chris Carson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no Carson. He's not that type of runner. He's more of like he would be fantastic in combination with him. I think he'd be an awesome like change of pace back if Carson could stay healthy. DJ Dallas could combo back with him. I think that would be an awesome combination in the backfield. But the problem is he's not an every down back.
That might be what we have to do, is just limit Carson's carries. I mean, we might have to split him with another guy, because if he can't have 20, 25 attempts a game, what's the point of paying you that money?
Right. Hey, I agree with that. So let's move on from there, and pretty far into the season now. What are we? Week 14? Week 15?
We're up there.
Week 14, I think. So where? I think we're actually week 12. I don't know what week we are.
We're somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. I think it's 12, 13, 12, something like that. So who's MVP right now? With all the injuries and all the insanity that's going on, who you got for MVP right now?
The greatest of all time, Tom Brady. I think he's leaning by a little bit. A little bit. He's been turning the ball over a lot recently, but he's playing amazing. I mean, he's leading the league in passing yards. He's up there. I think he's in the top 3 for sure in passing touchdowns. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing great. Um, I would say Tom Brady. I think by a lot right now. But it's still possible for a guy like Aaron Rodgers to get it. He continues to play how he is. Kyler Murray coming back from injury.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's an interesting one for me. If that dude comes out guns blazing, they got a huge game against the Rams.
Yeah.
If they kill the Rams again, and that dude throws like 5 touchdowns or scores 5 touchdowns,
Yeah.
because half of them are probably be rushing touchdowns. I, I think he's back in that race, but he
Yeah.
missed a lot of games, so I don't know that he can ever like really kind of jump back in it. Aaron Rodgers playing with a broke toe, still murdering people.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady playing good, but throwing a lot of picks lately. Let me ask this hot take. Do you think that a rookie could ever win it? Do you think Mac Jones, if he throws for a high enough completion percentage, could be in the conversation?
No. No.
No?
I think a rookie could win it, but I don't think Mac Jones could win it. I think if like I see but no rookie really ever starts off hot. Like yeah, I could see a rookie winning it maybe one day, but not Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is putting up like crazy numbers. Patriots are getting the win. But
Well, he's putting up crazy completion percentage numbers and completions.
That's not the flashy thing they want for MVP. They don't be like, hey, let's throw that number out there. let's throw the number out there. But it's really important because of how Mac Jones has played. But yeah, I don't see a guy like Mac Jones win MVP or even be in the conversation.
What about Jonathan Taylor?
The thing with Jonathan Taylor is, I hate to say, but the MVP award has basically became a quarterback award. And Jonathan Taylor, I mean, I think it would all depend what his all-purpose yards are, because a guy like Derrick Henry who ran for 2,000 yards last year didn't win MVP.
You're right.
So I don't
Didn't even hardly get any votes.
Yeah, if Jonathan Taylor doesn't have at least over like 2,500, like he'd have to have a crazy amount of all-purpose yards.
He just has so many touchdowns right now.
He does
Dude's
have a lot
like
of
a
touchdowns.
touchdown machine, man. I feel like he could be in the conversation. Now, depending on, I'm like you. I feel like Brady's probably leading that right now. But depending on how the Bucks look, and I feel like Brady's interception to touchdown ratio, if he can improve that, I feel like it's probably a lock.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they just like fall apart at the end of the year, But it's interesting. I think there's some candidates out there that could beat Brady.
For sure.
Rodgers is a huge one.
The thing with Rodgers is I don't know how some of the things that he's gone to trouble for this season would affect that
Off the field stuff.
Yeah, because it shouldn't, but would it is the thing.
You're right, because the voters are the voters, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting race, just because so many people, so many of them have missed games.
Oh yeah,
for
crazy.
whatever,
Crazy
right?
amount.
Rodgers missed a couple games. Well, was it one games?
He missed.
I don't know if he missed one game or two.
Yeah, he missed Kansas City game.
And then you got Kyler, who missed a few games.
He missed like 2 or 3.
So I know that's probably going to hurt them in the long run. But then, like I said, you've had Brady throwing some picks lately.
Yeah.
So does that even out, or I feel like Brady's history may win him it just by default.
Yeah.
Right. Like, as long as he stays on a halfway decent course and the Bucks win and they get into playoffs in a decent spot, I feel like he's probably got it. But you do got some other people out there, man. I feel like if Taylor can keep up his touchdown, just absolute onslaught. Because I think against the Bucks, he had like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he got a lot.
Like, dude, if you can keep up them touchdown numbers throughout, I feel like you got a good shot to at least be in the conversation and get some votes. But we'll keep an eye on that, man. That's going to be an interesting piece for the rest of the season. So now we're going to go to our pick'ems. We did kind of already go through these and pick these games, but we're going to kind of discuss the games and kind of give some feedback on our picks here. So, but the first one was the Steelers-Vikings. We talked about it already. I picked the Steelers. they're an absolute dumpster fire. Should have beat the Vikings, but they didn't, and they're not good. I mean, obviously they tied with the Lions, so I don't know what I was even thinking.
These are two teams that had a competitive games with the Lions. So
You're right.
here we are.
You're right, and somehow the Vikings were winning by like 28 points in the first half, and still almost lost. Dumpsters. Two dumpsters. They were two dumpsters colliding into each other on a Thursday night. What the heck was that game? Good Lord. So the next one is the Saints and the Jets.
But this one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Saints are just a better team than the Jets.
Yeah, and I'm on the Saints too. The Jets, I can't bring myself to pick the Jets, man.
Jets suck.
They're terrible.
They're gonna suck. They've been bad for them.
They just don't have the talent. I feel like their coach is okay.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have the talent level there yet. And these high draft picks they're going to continue to get are probably going to make them really good. Because they're going to have a lot of talent and not have to spend a lot of cap on it. So I think they do have the potential to get there. But dude, they're a mess right now. They're an absolute mess. And the Saints are a mess too. But the Saints have a good coach. And the Saints, if they can get Kamara back, I think that they can be competitive with most teams. I think their issue has been that they haven't had Kamara, and that lack of Kamara has caused them issues. Because literally their entire offense runs through the dude.
Yeah.
Also, they don't really have a number one wide receiver right now. So they're kind of a mess too, but ain't nobody. So we both picked the Saints.
Yeah.
Jets are another dumpster in the NFL. They're terrible. So the next one's pretty interesting. It's Falcons and Panthers. This one is an interesting one. So this is probably a coin flip.
Yeah. It's a
Who
close
you
game.
got in this one?
I think I picked the Falcons. Yeah. You got Matt Ryan. You got Kyle Pitts. That's about it. I can see the Falcons win this game. The Panthers. I don't believe in Cam. I don't believe in whoever's behind him. So coaching is a little. I think that guy's gonna be on the hot seat. And I don't like the Panthers right now. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
I'm going Panthers in this one, man. I think the Panthers. I think their defense has enough to stop the Falcons. And I think that Christian McCaffrey can put something together against his defense. And hopefully the Panthers can feature McCaffrey and beat the Falcons. Because the Falcons do not look good.
Yeah.
At all. Their offensive line is terrible. Matt Ryan getting sacked left and right. And I feel like the Panthers defense is good enough to get to him. And if you can get to Ryan, you can beat the Falcons. Like, pretty easily.
Matt Ryan needs to request a trade. He needs to go somewhere else. He needs to go to the Saints. Imagine that.
Oh, that would be amazing. That's what I'm talking about. That's some hot take right there. So the next one is your homer pick of the week. Seahawks Texans.
First off, go Hawks. Second, Seattle should absolutely win this game. If we don't, if we don't beat the Houston Texans, I know Titans were able to get the job done. We should be able to get the job done. If we don't, that's basically our season. We need to get this win. It's an important win. If we win and some other teams lose, like the Panthers, Eagles, we need those teams to lose. So yeah, we need this win. Must win.
I feel like the Texans are an absolute dumpster fire.
For sure.
They just cut like their best linebacker because he was having tardiness issues for meetings, and you couldn't resolve that in house. Texans are crazy.
Yeah.
They're out of control. They're a dumpster fire. Seahawks all the way. Next one is Raiders Chiefs.
I should have picked the Chiefs. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think we both picked the Chiefs in this one.
Raiders are just everywhere.
Dude, the Raiders are a mess. They got way too much going on behind the scenes. This team's had to face so much insanity this season. And the fact that they've somehow been winning games is a testament to their team. I'll tell you that, because there's so much happening there. I don't know how they are still able to focus on football, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's catching up with them, to be honest. I think that all that insanity is catching up with them, and I think the Chiefs are getting right at the right time. And the last time they played, the Chiefs destroyed them. So I'm Chiefs on that one too, man. I don't think the Raiders can get over this hump, and I think the Chiefs are getting. I don't want to say they're getting hot, but they're getting right at the right time.
Yeah.
I still don't think their offenses. I don't think their offensive problems are completely fixed yet, but I do feel like they have enough offense to beat the Raiders. And I think their defense, surprisingly, they've made some adjustments in there and they've got some players back, and their defense looks a lot better than it did the first half of the season.
The Raiders need to put in Marcus Mariota. That's what they need to
God.
do. That's going to solve all their problems.
Get out of here. Get out of here. So, yeah, Chiefs are probably going to kill the Raiders. I'm going Chiefs on that one, too.
Chiefs by 20.
So, Ravens. The next one's going to be Ravens-Browns.
I picked the Ravens. I think this is a game where the Ravens can go out and win this game against this all over the place Browns team. If the Ravens, this will answer a question here. If the Ravens, I picked the Browns.
This is your chance.
Oh snap! I picked the Browns. I'm switching back to the Ravens.
If you're flipping,
I'm switching to the Ravens.
Okay.
I didn't know I picked the Browns.
Okay.
The Ravens. If the Ravens can't win this game, then their season is indeed over.
Wow.
This is their
at
season.
8-4, their season's over.
Their season is on the line with this game because it doesn't matter.
Did we hear that? That's the hottest take I've heard in a long time.
It doesn't matter if you lose this game to the Cleveland Browns. It doesn't matter if you make the playoffs because you're not making a deep run in the playoffs. This is a must-win game to see where your team is at. The Ravens need to show up and they need to play.
You ready?
Yeah.
You know who else needs to win this game?
Who?
The Browns.
They do.
Two teams. The Ravens are absolutely decimated. They played a terrible game against the Steelers, right? On Thursday. I feel like they are bound to come out here flat. And the Browns have to win this game. And that secondary for the Ravens is a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm going Browns, bro. I think the Browns can win this game. And I think the Browns will win this game. Because I don't think the Ravens got anything left in the tank. They don't got no players. If the Browns don't come out here throwing on this team, they're absolutely insane. Because that secondary's chewed up, dude. You know it's bad if your coach is going for two because he knows you can't make it through overtime. He don't even trust a coin flip for y'all to make it through overtime.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. That's where it's at. Browns. Mark it down. Browns. So the next one, this is considerably more interesting than I would have thought 3 weeks ago. Cowboys football team.
It's absolutely not even interesting. The Cowboys are going to dismantle the Washington football team. Let me start off by 1, Heineke overrated. 2, Washington football team in general overrated. 3, you don't even have a name. So Washington's going to get destroyed. Cowboys are going to get back on track.
What the heck?
Yeah.
First off, Heineke for MVP. He plays for the football team. Okay. Also, I'm close to switching my pick here. I'm like on the fence about it.
Dude, if you believe in Heineke right now, switch your pick.
I can't because I don't believe in Heineke that much. However, I would not be shocked to see the team win this game.
I wouldn't be either, to be honest.
Because the Cowboys, what the heck?
Cowboys are just like, I don't know.
They're the most roller coaster team in the history of football right now.
I would hate to be a Cowboys fan.
I would too. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and they make me nervous every time I watch them play. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Like,
it's like zero confidence that they're going to win ever. I mean, what is happening? They lost to the Raiders on Thanksgiving. What the heck? Come on, dude. Look, I'm picking the Cowboys, but I don't feel great about it. I think the football team can beat them. And you know another reason the football team are probably going to beat them? What did Mike McCarthy do? Have you heard this?
No.
Guaranteed a victory against the football team.
I might just switch my
Do you
answer
want to
right
switch
now.
your pick right now? Because that's a guaranteed loss. What the
Cowboys
heck?
should win this game. There's no excuse for them not to win this game. You have CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper,
Except for that a
Dak
victory was
Prescott,
guaranteed.
Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Parsons, Diggs. Yeah, I mean you have a pretty much a loaded team. You should win this game. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either, but I'm picking Cowboys.
Yeah, I gotta go safe pick, which is
Yeah.
kind of.
So now it's my homer pick of the week. My Titans playing the Jags. It's the Titans, baby. They're going to come out here with their head on straight, and they're going to absolutely steamroll the Jags. They're going to destroy them. First off, the Jags don't even want to be there. They're done. They're checked out. They're ready to go home. This is at home for Tennessee. I feel like the Titans are going to come out here with a purpose, and they're going to absolutely destroy these dudes. Titans all day long.
Yeah, I think everything leads for the Titans to get the win here. You're at home. Julio Jones is coming back. You're facing a team that doesn't even want to be in America anymore.
The London Jags.
Yeah. Yeah. Tennessee should win this game. I'm picking the Titans. Tighten up.
That's it, baby. Tighten up, baby. He said I don't even want to be in America anymore. That was amazing. It's probably true. So the next game of the week, you ready for this?
Yep, I'm always ready.
Lions, Broncos.
I might change my pick. No, I'm not changing my pick. You wanna know why? Because they have an elite quarterback in Teddy B. The Broncos are going to get it done. Teddy Bridgewater is going to show why hot take. Teddy Bridgewater is going to show why he deserves a starting role in any offense. He's going to go off for 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, 0 INTs.
First off, you just said this man deserves a starting job by getting 200 passing yards. Dear God.
200 passing yards and 3 touchdowns.
It's not happening. The Broncos will win, but it will not be because of Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is trash. Okay? He's not a starting quarterback. He's like barely a backup at this point. This dude can't stay healthy. Second off, can't complete a pass lately. He's trash. Okay? But the Broncos will win because the Lions are just more trash. Also, I feel like they celebrated their last win like they won the Super Bowl. So they're going to be exhausted from winning a game. There's no way they win 2 in a row. Broncos. So the next one, barn burner. Giants, Chargers.
Chargers should win the game. Chargers should win this game. But the Chargers, the Cowboys, Cincinnati, and probably more teams are just all over the place sometimes. The Vikings, of course, got them in there. They're all over the place. The Chargers should win this game. If the Chargers lose to the Giants, then I think you need to reevaluate that Chargers roster because maybe with coaching because the Chargers should win this game.
100% the Chargers should win this game. And I'm picking the Chargers to win this game. Mainly because the Giants are trash. The Giants are not great. Daniel Jones, you had your shot, buddy. You're done. I've tried to jump on the DJ train. I can't. Daniel Jones is garbage. And they need to cut him loose, okay? And also, I don't know what else is going on there. But the Giants are not great. And I think it all starts with the quarterback. Because they do have some talent there. They just aren't great everywhere else. So I'm going Chargers. But I'm like you. If the Chargers lose this game, dude. Because they have been just like, yes, no, yeah. They're all over the place. They're like the least consistent team ever.
Yeah.
Like one week they look like they are the crown jewel of the AFC West. And then the next week they look like the Vikings. They're terrible. And they're great at the same time. I don't know what they are. But the Chargers should win this game.
For sure.
So the next one is going to be the 49ers and the Bengals. This is a game.
I picked Cincinnati here.
This is a game.
One, Seattle owns the 49ers. Two,
What does that have to do with
I just want to throw that out there. I want to say the 49ers. We 2-0'd them. There's no Cincinnati should win this game. The 49ers are not good. Cincinnati just like the Chargers though. They play up and down every other week. If Cincinnati wants to get back on track, they beat a competitive team like the 49ers, and they really test to see where they're at.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
49ers, bro. Bengals, look, I just don't think the Bengals know how to win yet. They can't. They're either winning by 40 or losing by 40. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
If you're good, you're good. And if you're not, you're not. But I'm not sure if they're good or not. Like, their defense looks Pro Bowl caliber one week, and then the next week, they look like full trash. I think this 49ers defense is going to give them major problems. And I feel like Kittle is going to eat their defense up.
And Debo. Yeah, they got, I mean, I think when you're looking at Cincinnati, kind of look at this. This is kind of Joe Burrow's rookie season extended because you remember he got hurt his first year. This guy's still totally raw in the NFL. And overall, just a really young team, and they just exceeded expectations. So now we're grouping them as a better team, when in reality, they should be like not as good as they are.
I feel you. I feel the same. I feel the same way. I feel like they're a year ahead of where they should be.
Yeah.
I feel like they've played above probably what they should be playing at. Because there's so much talent on that roster, right? And I feel like at receiver they're way better than they thought they were going to be this year. And like you said, Burrow missed so much of last year and then had to rehab. But dude, like, I just wish they were more consistent. I don't trust them at all.
Yeah.
I don't trust them at all. And I feel like even if they get in the playoffs, I don't trust them to win a game because I don't know that they have the fortitude to go in there and win a game. I don't know if they're battle tested enough, and I don't trust their defense to be consistent enough to win. So I'm going 49ers, man. I think the 49ers come in here. I think the 49ers are I feel like they're a well-coached team, and I feel like they are steady enough and they're getting healthy that I think they're going to come in here and win this game. And I think they're still trying to play for a spot too. The NFC, man, that's the problem. The NFC at the bottom is like wide open, dude.
The 49ers lose here. Seattle's looking a little bit better and thinking to the playoffs, so I need the 49ers lose here.
I think the 49ers win here. So the next one, man, this is game of the week right here, probably. This is Bills Bucks.
I think the Bucks win this game. This is a game where I wouldn't be surprised the Bills play and win this game. But this is gonna show the level that the Buccaneers are. Are they really a Super Bowl caliber team? Because they haven't played that much comp this year, and we really need to see where they're at. Because a team like the Bills can go out there. Josh Allen can make plays with his legs. And the defense, when they're not soft, the defense can show up and play. But yeah, I think the Buccaneers win here. I think it has the potential to be a blowout. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a blowout either way. But I think the Buccaneers win this game.
I feel the same way. To me, the Bucks have proven to me everything I need to know when they beat the Colts the way they beat them. Right?
Yeah.
When they literally took that ball and ran it down their throat the entire last drive and then rushed the ball in for a touchdown. That told me all I need to know right there, bud. Like, they're legit. And they are going to run all over the Bills. They're going to run all over them. I feel like Fournette is going to absolutely murder the Bills.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Especially after the way they lost to the Pats. The way that they got dominated. I mean, they need to come out here and make a statement. But do I feel any confidence that they will? Absolutely not. I feel like they're going to come out here and lay down and get ran all over. I don't, and I'll tell you now, I don't think Brady's even going to have to pass for that many yards.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think Fournette's going to come out of here and absolutely dominate them.
Yeah.
And barring some type of injury or Bruce Arians going completely insane and drawing up a game plan that says I'm going to throw on these dudes every down, Bucks win 100%. I think the Bills are soft. I've already told you that, and that's not a great combination plan against the Bucks because they are going to run all over you. You got Fournette and Ronald Jones back there. They're going to run all over you. So I'm going Bucks, dude. I got zero confidence in the Bills, and I think they're on a downslope right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think they can compete with the best teams in the league until they make some adjustments or figure something out on that defense. Because that defense is soft, super soft. Like a fresh snow, just soft. They're terrible.
I'm familiar with it.
Terrible. So the next one, Bears Packers.
Well, the owner of the Bears plays for the Packers. You got to go with the Packers here. I feel like the Packers dismantle, destroy the Bears. This is the worst game for Fields to come back into. I wouldn't even throw him out there. But yeah, the Packers win, probably a blowout.
God, yeah, Fields coming back, dude, against that Packers defense. That's the surprising part. That defense is legit, bro.
Yeah.
And let them get healthy on offense, man. The Packers are gonna be a tough out, and don't let them get home field. Don't go play in Lambeau in January. You are gonna get ran out that building. And you're right, man. If the owner of the Bears is playing for the Packers, they're done. He's going to come in there. He's going to come in there, show them who the true owner is. They're playing in Lambeau. It's over, dude. It's probably over before it starts. It's done. So yeah, Packers all the way. So the last one, this one's interesting. Rams, Cards.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't interesting last time. The Cardinals just destroyed the Rams. I think it's the same type of game. Unfortunately, I think the Cardinals win. Yeah, I think they win with ease probably.
I feel like the Cardinals win, but I think this is a closer game.
You think so?
I do. I don't want to say that the Rams are getting it right against the Jags.
Yeah, no, damn.
That's not anything, but I do feel like this is a test for them, and I think they're going to come in here ready to play. I think you have enough tape to see what you did wrong last time. So, because good Lord, you did it all wrong the first time you played them. But I think that the Rams should take this as a challenge and come in here and at least I think it's a lot closer game than it was the first time. I feel like hopefully that defense is settling down a little bit. But I do still think the Cardinals win. I think the Cardinals just got too much talent, man. I mean, they've been winning with backups. They didn't have their starting quarterback for like 3 weeks, and they still went, 2-1?
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on, dude. There is so much talent on this team, and they are so well coached, and their offense is absolutely explosive. Kyler Murray's a monster. And how do you stop him? Because even if you stop him from running, dude's throwing all over you. So, I'm going Cardinals, dude. I think they win that. So we're going to transition now from the NFL. Going to move on to just a couple of college football topics and some NBA, and then we'll talk a little bit of boxing too. But college football, man, the playoff is set finally. So you got Bama, Cincinnati, and you got Georgia, Michigan. I think it's awesome Cincinnati got in.
Yeah.
I've been rooting for that all year, dude. I'm like, please let these dudes get in because we need one of these non-big conferences to get in, right? Because it kind of shows the little guy has a chance. And they are definitely the little guy for sure against those powerhouse programs. They're in there with the likes of Bama, Georgia, Michigan. Like some absolute meat in there, dude.
I absolutely guarantee you Bama blows them out by 30. But let me say this. I never thought Cincinnati was going to get in because UCF had 1 year where they were undefeated and they played really well. And I thought that was the peak of a team being able to get in, and they didn't get in. Cincinnati got in. Is that because some teams just didn't want to win towards the end? Yes, but I'm glad they're in. But I don't think they're going to be any comp for Alabama, to be honest, in my opinion.
I don't feel like UCF was different because UCF didn't play nobody. Cincinnati came out and beat Notre Dame.
Yeah,
That and Notre Dame was what, number
yeah.
6
And they didn't have
in
they
the
didn't have
final,
to
or
do that. They didn't have
5?
to schedule that game. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like this kind of gives a blueprint to these other mid-conference teams to say, "Hey, man, this is how you can do it. If you can schedule you one blue blood and you can win that game and win out on your schedule, you can make it.
yeah,
It's definitely doable because Cincinnati didn't really schedule anybody else.
yeah,
It was Notre Dame, and that was pretty much it. And that's what got them in. That and the rest of their winning out in their conference. I think Cincinnati's going to be a closer game than people think. I don't think they're going to beat Alabama. But I think their offense has enough firepower, and I feel like that quarterback is good enough. I feel like Ritter's good enough to test that Alabama defense. Because I don't feel like that defense. They look good against Georgia, but Georgia's offense is not great by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel like Cincinnati can at least test them defensively, can test Alabama's defense. So I feel like this game can be. I feel like this game's going to be sneaky closer than people think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to win, but I think it's going to definitely help these smaller schools, and it'll help Cincinnati immensely in their recruiting to say, "Hey, we got a blueprint to get you to the playoff. Come play for us."
yeah.
And I think it's going to even out this pool a little bit and maybe get them some talent and keep them competitive every season if they can hold on to their coach. That's the next.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
next big problem. And we'll talk about some coaching shuffles a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I think that game's gonna be closer. I don't think it's gonna be 30 points. I just don't. I feel like Cincinnati can at least give them a game. But it's hard to tell because they don't play anybody. So it's really hard to judge how good they are offensively or defensively because of the conference they play in. And because they're really their only good thing they put on paper, or their really great thing they put on paper, was Notre Dame. And Notre Dame they were good, but obviously not good enough to make the playoff. But they were ranked in the top 10, so that's a solid win. So the next one is Georgia, Michigan.
If there's any team in overall football that's softer than the Bills, it's Georgia. Georgia is so soft. We were watching that game. I've never seen a
Talking
team more
about the
soft.
number one defense in the country.
Georgia, I don't care. Georgia's so soft. They're getting pushed defensively. I mean, corners are just are holding on for dear life, not turning around. I'm picking Michigan. I think Michigan gets the job done. I can see a world where Michigan runs the football all over them. And I think that defense, I I really believe Michigan has a chance of winning this game, and then probably going on to face Bama, in my opinion.
See, and I feel like the stage is set for a rematch of the SEC championship.
I think that's what the way I think that's why they set up the way they did. But
For sure. I mean, it was rigged from the jump. You
yeah,
can tell.
yeah,
They're like, what does the country want? The country wants Alabama, Georgia too,
yeah,
right? That's what everybody wants. Even though Alabama blew them out, you know for sure that game probably doesn't go like that the second time around, right? Because Kirby Smart has all that tape and he's got that defense, and he's probably going to figure some stuff out the second go around. However, I don't know that I like Michigan to win this game, and I'll give you a couple reasons why. First off, Michigan has never been on a stage like this.
yeah. It's been a while for them.
They're like the lovable loser. Every year, they're doing great, and then they hit that Ohio State game. What happens?
Yeah, and then it just goes downhill.
They're a speed bump for Ohio State on the way to the championship, right? Like that, Ohio State's going to the playoff, and they're going to beat Michigan to do it. Almost every year, nonstop. They beat them like, it feels like 11 billion years in a row.
It's been multiple ever since Harbaugh's been there.
So it kind of makes me wonder, like, are they ready for that yet? Are they ready for the stage yet? I don't know that they are. Also, their offense is it's unique, right? It's a lot of running the ball, right? And if anybody can shut that down, it's Georgia. And if Georgia shuts that down, can Michigan throw their way out of that? I don't know that they can.
Actually, I fully believe they cannot.
And that's my hang up. That's why I feel like I don't think Michigan. I personally do not think Michigan will win this game. Now, if Michigan's going to win this game, I think it's going to hinge on their defense. Because I do feel that their defense can stop Georgia's offense. Georgia's offense, to me, is very one-dimensional. They run the ball. They do drop-down passes. They don't do a lot of deep stuff. It almost seems like they don't trust that quarterback to really, really run that, to just cut the reins loose and let them go. And so, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to watch this game because I feel like it could go either way. But for me, I'm more leaning towards. I feel like what happened to Georgia in the SEC title game was not consistent with what their defense is. And I don't feel like their defense is going to put another performance like that out there. I feel like they come back, they get all that right that they did wrong there, and I feel like they're going to be on a mission to destroy Michigan. That's what concerns me. I would love to see Michigan win because, man, they've been in the dumps for a long time. And I think it's awesome that Michigan gave Harbaugh the opportunity to fix that thing and to get it where it needed to go. Because there was plenty of people with pitchforks and torches outside trying to get him fired for however many years it's been, right? And this dude, I don't know if you've heard anything about him, but he literally was giving his salary back to pay people that couldn't work during COVID. So he was paying his coaches out of his own money. The dude only made like $1 million this year and not just his coaches, all the staff for the stadium, all the people that weren't able to come and work, he paid their salaries out of his own money. Like, how much more can you root for a dude? Like, the dude literally gave all his money back to make all the employees be able to get paid, even though they couldn't work. Come on, man. It's like the good guy story of the century, man. So I'm rooting for Michigan, but I don't know, man. That Georgia defense is like legendary. It's like, if you look at it statistically, it's one of the best defenses that's ever been fielded in college football ever. I mean, they were giving up like less than 7 points a game prior to that Alabama game. The highest points that were scored against them was Tennessee, and that was 17 points. That's unheard of in college football. So, do I think that defense is going to throw up a performance like that again? Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think Michigan's going to be in trouble. But we're going to find out, man. It's going to be exciting. But so the Heisman has been awarded just prior to us recording this. And I feel like Bryce won that thing in the SEC championship, dude. I mean, like, I think it was close. I think it could have went to Hutchinson. I think it could have went a couple different directions. Or at least I feel like those top two were definitely an opportunity. But man, the way he came out and absolutely dismantled Georgia in that title game, it was all said and done, man. You only needed to fly one dude to New York. You knew who was winning that thing, man. It wasn't even close.
He showed a lot of stuff. I mean, he showed he can make plays with his legs. He showed he can extend a play. He showed that he can take multiple hits and get back up. You've seen it in multiple games where that offensive line has not played amazingly. But yeah, right when that game started, and he stood after that first drive, and then he just kept on going and going and going and producing for them. I was like, this is probably gonna be the game. This is gonna be the game for him that puts him over the edge, and it was. I mean, he had 5 touchdowns. His stat line was crazy.
I think he had 4 touchdown passes or something.
So yeah, he had a rushing one too. So.
And that was with his best wide receiver out.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm glad he won it. He deserves it, and yeah, we'll see how far Alabama can get. See if they can win again.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. Um, and we gotta at least go. We gotta at least talk about these two dudes. Um, so while we were out on our hiatus for multiple issues, um, Brian Kelly, who's been at Notre Dame for what feels like 57 years, decides I'm out. I'm going to LSU. Which first off, caught me super off guard. I was like, "What the heck is happening?" Um, I did not see that happening at all. Um, couldn't believe that dude left Notre Dame, where basically he had all the reins to do whatever he wanted, and he was the guy. Um, I feel like he probably made the move because Notre Dame's been on the just on the edge, on the cusp of making that playoff, and they made the playoff. But I just don't know that they could ever get over that hump. I don't know that he could ever get them to a title game. I don't know that he could ever win a title game with what's required at Notre Dame academically.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like I understand the move, but man, it caught me off guard, man. It was surprising. I couldn't believe he left.
First off, go Tigers. Second, I respect him for not wanting to dodge the SEC smoke. He went right in, and that is surprising. That is really surprising to me.
Cannonballed into the Shark Tank.
It's gonna be interesting to see how he adjusts. I think he's gonna have, like you said, a lot easier time recruiting. You have this beautiful campus that you can now do, and all this academic stuff that's not as you're not gonna get the smartest players, but they know how to play football. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens.
I think it's going to be awesome, man. I think that dude's a heck of a recruiter, and I think now that he can recruit to an SEC school, and not just any SEC school, LSU's a premier program in the SEC. I think he's got a better shot to win a title there because I feel like you got more room for error, right? I feel like you can lose a game in the SEC and you still got a shot. Whereas if you drop a game at Notre Dame, your chances of jumping back in there are pretty slim because you can't go win enough signature games to get yourself back in it, right? Whereas if you drop one at LSU, man, you got some powerhouses you're going to have to play every year, and you can win those games and get yourself back in there. You're probably going to be playing ranked teams most weeks because a good majority of the SEC is ranked at some point during the season. So, man, it's going to be interesting. I want to see how he performs in the SEC because you gave yourself a challenge there for sure. But the other one, I'm pretty sure this happened before, just before because I think these were like the same day or within a day of each other. Lincoln Riley just throws the deuces to Oklahoma and just rolls out like so quick. Like, I'm pretty sure he, like, texted the players and was like, see you guys later, I'm out. And goes to USC, man. And he's getting the, like, full-blown movie star treatment, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't make the wrong decision. You go out, you're in LA now. You're getting, his own private jet?
Dude, on a cell phone, the man can just call up his private jet and just fly out.
Yeah, he's getting the LA treatment. Absolutely right move. You're not going to a crazy conference. This is, I mean, you get a house too and everything.
I'm pretty sure they paid off his house in Oklahoma, bought him a house in California. His contract is insane. If you have a chance, go look at it because literally the stipulations and the stuff he got in that contract is out of control. And USC is immediately a contender.
For sure.
Right? Because the transfer portal went insane. Players are dropping like flies. He's got recruits flipping from Oklahoma so fast it's not even funny. The dude is a recruiting machine. And look at it this way. I feel like he jumped ship because he knew Oklahoma and Texas are going to the SEC. What does that mean for him? No more easy path to the playoff. Right? You go to the SEC, it's way harder to get into that playoff. Whereas if you go to the Pac-12, you're probably going to win the Pac-12 every year.
Yeah.
And you go undefeated out there, you more than likely going to get a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Because you're in a Power 5 conference. You're still in a Power 5 conference. I think it was an absolute fantastic move.
Yeah.
I feel like he hit the ejector button at just the right time, got himself paid, and got himself into a conference that he can win every year. With his recruiting and the players he brings in, he can be in a playoff every year because they can win the Pac-12 every year with no problem. But was it surprising? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did not expect to see that, especially with the fact that they were still in the season, right? Like, he just dipped out, dude. Like, all right, boys, I'm out. Like, gave him a text message and a 5-minute talk, rolled out. It was crazy, man. So college football has been crazy. We got 4 more games, and then some bowl games. But we got 4 more games that really matter. So it's going to be awesome to keep an eye on that. So we're going to transition just a little bit of NBA and some boxing. So in the NBA, man, like, LeBron is back, bro. Like, we've been trash talking him for a little bit. Dude's been taking a vacay, like, not playing, been injured. But this dude has like 5 30-plus point games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, King's back. He has LA back. Russell Westbrook's playing amazing. AD is not playing amazing, and I saw on my phone he's hurt for a decent amount of time right now. So
Shocker. Not surprised.
But I think LeBron and Russell Westbrook are going to be enough for now. And Melo, who's been playing really good as well.
Melo's been lights out, bro. Even when nobody else is playing, Melo's out there just killing it.
So, yeah, I mean, Lakers are back. I'm glad to see LeBron's playing. I was getting a little concerned. I was like, is Father Time catching up? Absolutely not. He's still out there.
Not at all.
Windmilling out there. Like, it's absolutely crazy.
It's just when he decides to play, right?
Yeah. So, I really have no problem with him doing that because he's like saving himself so that he's a playoff player. Like, he's gonna skim through the regular season, but you get him when it counts. So I'm glad to see that LA is back. It's not as entertaining when LA is not back, but they're back and they look good.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think you're right on that. I mean, I think LeBron's coming up with the equation to how do I get myself healthy to the playoffs?
Yeah.
Because at this point, the only thing that matters is championships.
Yeah.
And it sucks for the fans who come out every night and get to see him about a third of the time. However, for legacy and for championships, it's the best way to do it. Like, this dude's 37, man. Like, you can't keep beating yourself up for 82 games, right? You got to just win enough games to get in. And then once you get in, then it's on, right? You ain't taking no games off in the playoffs. But, I mean, like I said, I hate it for the fans, but I think it's a very smart move on LeBron's part to extend his longevity and to know that when I get to the playoffs, I'm going to be right and ready to go. And dude looks right now. I mean, he's absolutely killing it. And him and Westbrook are playing really well together, which
way better than I thought they were going to be.
Is weird. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. And I think maybe Westbrook's problem was he didn't have that other alpha on the floor because I feel like you said, 80's hurt. But I feel like I don't know that he's ever really been that alpha, right? He's a great player, but he's not really like a take over the game player.
Yeah.
And LeBron is that. And I feel like if you can get 2 dogs on the floor like them 2 guys, I think that's something Westbrook can play off of. And he's doing a great job of not being overly aggressive and just trying to score every play, right? He's doing a better job of alternating the offense between the two of them.
Yeah.
And I do think it may help that AD's out, to be honest with you, because those two are going to be the guys.
Yeah. Maybe spacing wise, probably. It sucks that because AD has so much potential. He's still really young too, so he just needs to be. He might need to do the LeBron treatment. He might need to be saved for the playoffs, because he is a problem staying healthy. So.
For sure. He's definitely injury prone, man, which sucks too because the dude's just so talented, man. But we're gonna move on to the next one, dude. Steph, bro. What is he like? 10-3, maybe less now.
It might be tonight.
Might be
It might be
tonight.
tonight.
The record may be broken. But he's within 10 threes of breaking the all-time record. And we're what, like a third of the way through the season?
Yeah.
Like, what is this dude?
I mean, I've been sometimes I'm a Steph Curry hater, but I saw this one thing. You gotta give the flowers when the flowers are due. Steph Curry deserves to.
Flowers?
Yeah, give him his flowers. No homo.
Okay.
He did. He deserves to be praised for what he's done. He's changed the game of basketball forever. Because before it was like the cool thing is a kid can dunk, but now it's cool if you're pulling deep threes, and that's mostly because of Steph Curry. He's gonna break the record anytime now. And Stephen Curry right now is playing like the MVP. He's putting up crazy numbers. Put up crazy numbers last year. So Stephen Curry, right now is front runner for MVP for me right now.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I mean, it's going to take something astronomical. KD's playing good.
KD is playing good.
Then the Nets look really good. We'll talk about that, but I feel like Steph, man, just dude. What do you say? Like the dude's just killing it and can shoot from anywhere on the floor. And it's like nothing we've ever seen. It's like one of those things where it's hard to tell you're in the midst of greatness until it's over.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we're watching greatness right now. You're literally watching this generation's Jordan. I feel like that's him.
Whoa, we might be going a little too far.
I don't think so, because this dude has literally changed the way people play basketball.
He's changed the way people play basketball, but we're talking about who's the guy. The guy will always be LeBron. For this generation, it has to be LeBron because.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying is LeBron's 37.
Yeah.
How old is Steph?
33, 34.
Is he that old?
Yeah, he is that old.
But I think he plays a lot longer than LeBron.
Yeah, but
because he's not going to take the beating LeBron took.
I think LeBron and Curry probably retire around the same time, and I will say that Curry probably has influenced the game more. Definitely has influenced the game more.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think he's going to be like the recommend, like when you look at like the who led this generation of basketball players. I feel like it's going to be LeBron, just because of popularity wise. But I feel like Stephen Curry definitely. I think you're right. Stephen Curry definitely has influenced the game way more than LeBron.
Yeah, and that's what that's the point I'm trying to make. I feel like that was Jordan, right? Like Jordan changed the way people play basketball, right? It was all aggressive, all scoring, but Jordan did everything, right? And don't get me wrong, I think LeBron is probably, I don't know, LeBron is probably the poster child for this generation because of how he came up, right? He came up from high school. He didn't play college. He built himself a brand. And I don't know that Steph has necessarily done that piece of it, but I think basketball-wise, I think Steph is more of an influencer on the actual physical game of basketball and the way the game is played. LeBron is more of a mainstream example, and he's more of how to build your brand because he kind of did it the same way Jordan did it, right? Like he's that guy that basically kind of built himself from nothing and showed other people how to build a brand. Steph, I don't know, is necessarily worried about that. Steph's more worried about the game and not as much about his brand. Whereas I think sometimes LeBron comes off as more worried about his brand and not about the game.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think what Steph's doing is legendary.
Yeah.
And I think his ability to score the basketball, it's going to be a long time before anybody gets close to that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody's going to touch this 3-point mark in a long time.
Yeah. It's probably impossible. It might be impossible.
You
Maybe Clay. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
maybe, but that's going to
Probably
take a
Clay.
lot of
Yeah.
staying healthy and a lot. But that's just insane that you're that close to breaking a 3-point record that at that point in the season. That's crazy. Um, and let's go on to the Nets, man. We mentioned them. So after all that smoke, the Nets are leading the Eastern Conference.
We, I mean, yeah. I mean, we're talking about some of the elite scorers. KD's obviously up there. This guy. I mean, KD is carrying his team. I mean, don't get me wrong. James Harden is playing amazing as well. But I mean, KD's the guy. And all this without Kyrie. There are rumors Kyrie's gonna be coming back soon. We'll see what happens.
Dude, what does that team look like with Kyrie, man?
That team looks. I mean, we saw
Ooh.
it last year. KD's foot size held them back. If he
Right.
was one smaller,
I have a
they're in
feeling.
the finals.
I have a feeling this year that may not matter because I feel like if Kyrie comes back, I feel like their scoring ability. Oh my gosh! Like he may not need the three at the end
Yeah.
because they may be up by enough points that it won't matter. But yeah, that's crazy. The fact that you can add Kyrie back in and you're already leading the Eastern Conference as it is, man, crazy. And we were the first doubters.
We were.
I was. I'm telling you, I
were.
was right on that train, man. I was like, I don't know if they can do it with just them two. I'm wrong. I'll go ahead and be the first one to tell you. So the last NBA topic, the rumors are just going nuts, and we've talked about this a little bit. But is Dame finally getting traded?
Uh,
Is it happening?
like I don't know, cause it's taking longer than I expected. I think obviously the destination that he probably wants to go to is Boston. I think that's probably the best. I don't know what Boston gives up to get him. Hopefully not one of their core younger players. But
They're gonna have to give up a lot. I don't think they're gonna get him for nothing.
yeah, I think the
But I think he's worth it.
yeah the Blazers. I mean, they either gotta give him something or they gotta give him away because he's given everything he has and has gotten nothing in return. So
I agree,
Portland
man.
needs to either build around him
Or
or
cut him loose.
rebuild with someone cheaper because you're not willing to spend the money to
To
make
make
this
that
a
team
elite
a
team.
contender.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. And I think it'd be awesome to see Dame in a big market, man.
yeah,
Like I think that dude could absolutely build himself a brand in Boston, right?
yeah.
And he would be loved by
He would.
those
Yeah,
fans,
he would.
man.
Yeah,
Like he would be absolutely Boston fans are no joke, man. Like ask Kevin Garnett, ask Paul Pierce, ask all those dudes, man. Like if he could get to Boston, dude, I think he'd stay there for his career because I think he could absolutely build himself a brand, and he would be he would be adored by them, and he would make them a contender immediately, right? Like that they would absolutely be a contender as soon as he hits the court.
yeah.
And I think that would be awesome. But they are gonna have to give up a. It's gonna take a haul to get him. You already know that. Um, I don't know why he's so like hell bent on saying that he's not going.
Yeah.
Like, what do you owe them, dude? You've
Yeah,
given them
yeah.
so many years. You've done everything you can do to let them try to build a team around you, and they haven't done it. Get out of there, bro. Go somewhere you can win. Go somewhere where you can be the centerpiece for a championship team. Because you are absolutely that, dude.
Yeah.
You are that. But man, him to Boston would be amazing. So we got one last topic, man. So Jake Paul, bro. This whole fight has absolutely fallen apart in
Jake
like a
Paul-
week.
Jake Paul was obviously supposed to be fighting Tommy Fury on the 17th, and Tommy Fury had to pull out due to illness and a rib injury. It sucks because this was,
Yeah, like
the test.
how mad are you if you're Fury and the dude you spar with broke your ribs? Because I read a story that's what happened.
I saw that. I saw some training methods. I mean, it sucks. It really does. I bet they're furious because this was a big payday they're missing out on.
Big payday.
Big
This
exposure. I mean,
this dude
so
never
much
had to
money.
work again, even if he lost. Like it was dude.
But yeah, it sucks because it was kind of like Jake Paul is fighting a boxer now, and now obviously Woodley stepping in. I've seen this fight. I've seen how this goes down. I don't think much changes. Maybe Tyron Woodley, he's really examining film, training as hard as he can but it's short notice, and you're going against Jake Paul who wanted to win against a boxer. I absolutely guarantee he is training as hard as he ever has. He's putting in the work. Um, Woodley is going to need a miracle to win.
On 2 weeks?
It's too short. It's too short. Like your gas tank wasn't good before. What is it going to be now? Um, I think Jake Paul wins this, and I think it might be in devastating fashion. We might see a knockout from Jake Paul because I don't think Woodley can be prepared for this type of fight in 2 weeks. It's hard for me to believe that. Is it possible? Yeah. But
Not likely.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I feel like that the time frame is just too short for Woodley to be ready. Now, I did read an article that said, or where Woodley said that there's a built-in rematch clause because he took this fight on such short notice.
Hmm.
So even if Woodley loses, from what I understand, there's like an auto rematch clause in here to where he could actually fully prepare for a fight and fight a third fight against Paul.
Interesting.
That is interesting. Because it kind of leads me to believe that Woodley knows he's definitely not prepared for this fight, but that he does want another opportunity to prove himself.
And maybe he's taking that. I mean, maybe he's gonna have this fight. He's gonna need to let his hands fly. He's gonna
Early.
need to, yeah. And maybe he can experiment a little bit in the second fight. I hope Woodley can perform. I find it unlikely, but I mean,
do too. I feel like this goes past. I feel like this goes past like 2 rounds, 3 rounds. I feel like Woodley's going to be gassed, and I feel like Paul's going to dominate him. I don't think that Paul gets a knockout because I feel like Woodley's at least a technical enough fighter to defend himself. But I don't see Woodley winning this fight unless somehow, like you said, unless he is super aggressive in the first 2 rounds or the first few rounds. I don't think he can win this fight. I just don't think he has the gas tank for it. He's an MMA fighter. They already don't fight the amount of rounds that boxers fight.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't feel like he's got the gas tank to do that. And I don't think he wins this fight. But I do think it's interesting that they have already basically pre-agreed to a third fight. And so that fight would be interesting. Yeah. I would probably pay to see that fight. But I don't know, man. I don't even know if I pick this pay-per-view up now.
Yeah.
Because I just don't. Do I want to go in there and see Paul beat the heck out of Woodley because he's underprepared? I mean, kudos to Paul for saving the card.
For sure.
I mean, he saved the card. He kept all the undercards on. But I think they lose a lot of money here. So I think Paul wins this fight, and I don't think it's a super interesting fight. Hopefully the other cards are interesting. But man, it sucks. It sucks that fight fell apart that late in the game. Sucks for everybody involved because I do think that was going to be a good fight. But I think that's all we got, man. We are back. We're gonna at least have one a week from here on out. We've got all of our problems solved, audio wise, video wise. Definitely keep dropping those comments in there for topics you want us to hit. Like, subscribe.
Tell your mom, her mom,
everyone's mom. Tell all the moms and everybody involved. But hey, we will catch you guys on the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.